And joining us now, pleased to catch up with Carl Peterson of Peterson Farms Seed. Carl, always great to chat with you, sir. How are you?
I am well, and likewise, great to chat with you, Jesse.
Well, thanks for the time. We have some exciting stuff to talk about here today, and I want to start and discuss this new partnership with yellow peas. You know, the pea industry is something we don't necessarily talk a whole lot about, but it's a vital part of agriculture. And you guys have a great new partnership you've just announced. Tell us a little bit about this and how it all came about, Carl.
Sure. So first, just a little bit of context, right? American broadacre crop agriculture is set up for unit trains, large export volumes, huge crushing facilities, and so on and so forth. And that's always going to be that way. But we have believed for some time that there are going to be niche opportunities for growers who are willing to just maybe go a little extra mile to add some value with limited scale identity preserve projects, right? So that's the context of which we're operating on. We already have a project like that going in soybeans have for a few years. And this peas is really fits into that strategy very well. Equinom is a company that is developing higher protein peas that's going to make a huge difference at the processor level. That's where the value is created. They can create a higher protein end product, and that value then comes back up the channel to Equinom through us to our seed dealers and ultimately to growers. So this is an opportunity for growers to participate in adding some value, making a little more money on the crop that they're growing, and contribute to that growing food market.
Well, and you hit the nail on the head. I would have to think, some of these niche opportunities that you mentioned, the profit potential there, the return on investment, ultimately for growers has to be a huge benefit, Carl.
Right. I mean, nobody's going to get rich overnight on this whole thing, right? This is add some value, uh, have a better protein product, and to profit from that, right?
Hmm.
It's a closed loop system. Many of these are, and I think many of them will be, which means whatever the grower plants, that the company will buy back. Equinom through Peterson will buy that back from them. Um, and we're encouraging growers that are interested to reach out to us early, because we expect we'll fill those contracts, and at that point the opportunity will be gone.
Well, and I think as well, Carl, this is a great time to get in a little more in depth into the pea market because pea protein market, I saw a figure expected to hit near $3 billion by 2027. So this is an expanding part of the agriculture sector, especially the northern plains. No stranger to growing peas, but it just seems like that this is growing continually and expected to continue to grow as we go through the next few years, Carl.
Right. So many of the fake meat companies are using pea protein as a base. That's in baby formula, many other food products, because you can add protein, make a little healthier product, and a lot of times it's unnoticeable. The other market's been pet food and those kinds of things, which of course is a lower value market, and we do expect that to continue to grow. Um, and we really think it's a great opportunity to participate.
Fantastic. Well, again, as you mentioned, growers reach out to Peterson Farms Seed to learn more about this and take advantage of some of these contracts, et cetera, moving forward. Carl, let's shift our conversation just a little bit. Let's talk a little more on quartered soybeans. Obviously, we're in the heart of growing season. We've seen some heat stress in some areas across the Corn Belt already this summer, but from what you're seeing in your area and what you're hearing from your agronomists, et cetera, how are things looking across the Northwestern Corn Belt?
Well, I would say all things considered, pretty well in this footprint, right? Obviously, it was a late start, and we need to recognize there are some areas where it was just impossible to get the crop in. There's a fair bit of prevent plant in some areas, and pretty much everybody was planting late. But with the season that we've had since planting, in a lot of areas, the crop is kind of caught up. Yeah, we're going to need some more heat to keep us on track to finish on time. Uh, but looks pretty good, all things considered.
Well, and all things considered as well, we've seen the markets fluctuate all over the place, but growers hoping for a decent crop to take advantage of some of these prices. And then obviously moving forward into 2023, I know still some concern about supply chains and all of the above in the economy, but it sounds like agriculture's set up well moving forward and looking forward to having a good crop this year again, Carl.
You bet. And the supply chain challenges are going to continue, certainly, but we've seen some moderation in fertilizer prices, and that's a big deal. And, never underestimate the ingenuity of the American system to get what's needed where it's needed, at the right time. Um, I have pretty good confidence that those things will catch up.
Definitely. Well, Carl, I appreciate the time as always. Any other final thoughts you want to share? Anything else going on with Peterson Farm Seed, or anything else you want to reiterate for us?
We're just looking for, we got a bunch of great new products coming out this year, as well as corn and soybeans. We've got our IP soybean project that we're, developing and increasing acres on. So growers interested in that. The pea thing, it's just a great time to be in agriculture, and we're having a lot of fun.
Well, you can learn more petersonfarmsseed.com. You can find out a ton of information, contact a dealer, and much more there. petersonfarmsseed.com. With that, Carl Peterson, always appreciate the time, sir. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a great rest of your day.
You bet. You too.